I'm Sandy Walden from Serenity, your Master Grief Coach and Master Grief Coach Trainer. I had a really interesting conversation with someone a few days ago, and in many ways it's been playing through my mind since then. She talked about her relationship with the person she was grieving and how precious it is to her and always will be, but how it felt unsettling in many ways when she would hear someone else describe this person. Wow, they saw them this way. They were the prankster or the joker or the unwavering support, the confidant. So many aspects. And her relationship with this person, unique and special and quite beautiful, but different, very different. And when I talked to her, I showed her one of these crystals because I've got all kinds of them in my office. They make me really happy. But do you see all the facets? Do you see how different each one is? And without the many, many facets on any of these stones, it would not be whole. I can't see all of them at one time from any specific angle. I cannot experience all of them at the same time in the same way as someone else. As I hold it up to my screen, you see this piece. I see something over here, but something over here is hidden from both of us. It doesn't make it any less real. It doesn't make it any less a part of this beautiful stone. Our relationships are very similar. Forgive me if that sounds a little strange. So let me use my own example. When I think about my youngest son, Mikey, I love my relationship with him. It was great. We debated and we argued and we had fun and we did things together. From the time he was a little boy, we'd talk about books and music and I just laugh really hard. I love that relationship. It was different than my husband's relationship with him. They cooked together and they took things apart and put them back together and had long conversations about other things. It was still very different with his two brothers. Mike was the youngest. The relationship he had with the brother right before him, very, very special, and yet different than the relationship he had with the eldest. Think about this. I could be in the same room with all of them and hear squabbling or laughter or whatever was happening, but it landed different for me than it did for each of them because their relationship was different. Not more, not less, simply different. I'd love to if you'd share with me how this lands for you. So when we're grieving our relationship. We might understand or hear about someone else's, but it's not going to feel the same way as ours. There are times that everything in me would say, wow, I really wish I'd had that experience of cooking with him and being so close with him in that way. But that's not who I am or who we were together. And that's okay. A piece of me might be really jealous of it. That's okay too. That's okay too. All of these aspects, all of these facets make this beautiful crystal, this selenite. None of them are wrong. It's the peace we have. The relationship we have is very real. This also explains why we grieve a little differently. We're grieving a different relationship. The same person, the same whole being, but I'm missing different things than my husband. Each of my surviving sons is missing different things than the other, even though they all grew up together and were very close in age and shared the same wacky parents. We will grieve in the way that's right for us. Some will be very silent and very physical. Maybe they're the doers. Others perhaps are very weepy and do things in a way that's almost internal. That's okay. Others talk and talk and talk and talk, or write, or dance, or yell. None of these things are one facet either, because you and I are complicated beings too. We're not wrong for being who we are. We just are who we are. Those different relationships. It's okay if we say, doggone it, I wish I'd had that. It's okay if there's a part of it that gets really kind of upset, angry, maybe jealous, maybe even furious. Doggone it. Why did this person have this piece when I wanted that? I craved that. I miss I had that. It's normal. It's natural. Susie said it's good to emphasize that our grief is as different as our relationship. Susie, I could not agree more. Not less, not more, simply different. Each of these beautiful stones is very important to me. Not more or less, but different. And I'm not equating the stones with a relationship. Please understand that. But I'm using this as an example because when we can understand that someone else's relationship is different, that they process, that they grieve and heal in a different way, we become much more able to receive support as well as to give it. We become much more able to grieve and heal in our way if we are not judging someone else's. If we allow them to have theirs and know that it's different and be okay with that. Let's be okay with it. Yeah, I can be jealous. I can be upset. All of these things, every thought, every emotion we have always comes back to love. It's the love that prompts those feelings. And that matters. It matters. Today, wherever you are in your grief journey, whether you're at the very beginning, way down the road, or somewhere in between, I encourage you to be gentle with your own heart and your own feelings. Please don't make yourself wrong for having thoughts or feelings that someone else may find unacceptable, because when we do that, we crush them, we stuff them, but they don't go away. It's in understanding and expressing them in safe, healthy ways that healing happens. I wish you a day of joy and gentle healing. Namaste.